Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel, and what I have here for you today is the Nitecore SRT9. You better call the police because everything they pack in this flashlight for the price is a steal. Now if you came here to watch this video because you're interested in buying this flashlight, it usually costs $119.95. However, because you came to my channel to watch my video, and I greatly appreciate it, I got a coupon code for you. So in the description box below is a link to GearBest and a coupon code where you're going to get it for the crazy price of only $79.95. That is the best price on the internet. The SRT9 can output 2,150 lumens, but that's not even the most amazing thing this flashlight can do. The one thing that makes this my favorite flashlight of all times is the simplest and most graceful operating system I've ever seen in a flashlight. They call it the SmartRing. Now, usually when somebody calls things smart, they're usually not like, I wouldn't go out and buy a smart car. Usually it's just a trick to get dumb people to buy stuff. And I apologize for all of you who own smart cars. Anyway, this thing has all these different modes. It has a constant variable brightness. So you can go, I'm trying to find the spot here, from 0.1 lumen all the way up to, all the way up to that 2,150 lumen of brightness, and you could stop anywhere in between just by twisting that ring. And then of course you could use the ring to go through all these other modes that we'll talk about, including that police mode that you saw, and it even has, you know, that strobe, and I mean everything. It has everything. And because it's in this thing, wherever you leave it, here I selected blue, right? I click it off, I click it back on, it remembers. Memory is what I'm trying to say on every single setting, whether it be the turbo 2150 lumen or any brightness within that variable setting or any of the colors, police, strobe, all that stuff. Memory, because you just leave the ring in, whatever it was, and then the switch is on the back. You just click it to turn it on, click it again to turn it off, and it has momentary. See, I'm just pressing it a little bit. Yes, it has momentary. So let's take a close look. Came in this box. Let you take a close look all around. You can freeze it if you see something that you wanted to look at really close. And it has a little plastic thing with silicone gel that you do not eat. It has a manual, has warranty cards, it has a sheath, nothing special, and it's Velcro. Not a fan of Velcro, I'll tell you right up front, because when you try to be stealthy, it's annoying and it makes a lot of noise. You have a D-ring back here, and you can put it on your belt. And I think, yeah, you got some Velcro here too. Also, you got a lanyard, you got an extra O-ring for the back, which it's very unique. I don't know if you can see that. I don't want to take it out of the bag. And you get an extra button cover right there. So let's talk about some physical attributes. See that right down in there? That's the emitter. That's where the light comes out. That's a quad emitter. If you look really close, there's actually 4 little LEDs on a circuit. So it's sort of a quad die cool white emitter. Specifically, it's the XHP50. It's behind a mineral glass that has anti-reflective coating on both sides, and you have a orange pure reflector. But you can see things are kind of different because, see, you got some other things going on. Those are other LEDs that are different colors. You have blue, red, green, and UV. I might not be pointing at the exact ones, but you get it, right? So you have a aluminum alloy, aircraft grade, they always say that, body, and you have that SmartRing, and it's extremely smooth, and it works magnetically. And the way that you know it's magnetic is because if I put this paper clip here, so that's why it's just so smooth. It has like nice indents, for lack of a better term, right where it needs to stop on each mode. Really nice. Now, here's a con. It doesn't tell you what mode you're in. You just sort of got to learn, you know, where it is. I mean, you could feel where the white light is because it becomes one variable motion right there, and then it starts clicking again. So you can sort of learn it, but that is a con. I think they could have maybe wrote that on there. Okay, we already talked about the tail switch right there, so turn it on, turn it off, real simple. And again, you have that momentary, so I think that's called a reverse clicky if my memory serves me right. You have a stainless steel clip right there. It's really tight. It's facing the right direction to put it on the bill of a hat, but if you put this on a bill of a hat, it's going to tear the hat off your head. It's pretty heavy. With the batteries, I'm going to give you the weight with the batteries. It makes no sense to give you the weight of the flashlight without the batteries. It is 11.5 ounces, so you're not going to put that on the bill of a hat. It is 5.83 inches long. The diameter is 1.57 inches. So it's a hefty guy. Now, why is it hefty? Because look at the shape. The shape should give you a little clue of what kind of batteries this thing has to hold. 218-650. 218-650 batteries. And it has a very unique way of putting those batteries in, which, by the way, doesn't include the batteries, so you got to buy batteries. You have these little things you got to press in right there, and you got to press these two pins down on each side, and then you pull this guy off just like that. And it's really, you know, this is like cast aluminum alloy. It's pretty hefty, and there's that gasket. So if you want to change the gasket with the one I showed you, that was in the baggie, you got to remove some screws. And these screws are dual purpose because it also keeps you from putting the battery in backwards, because you cannot use flat or buttonless 18650 batteries like this because it's not going to work. You have to use button top batteries, 18650 batteries just like this, and you got to put them in. Now there's no clear, you got to put the batteries in a certain way, like, oh well, there is, I lied. I didn't see that. Alright, so right there you can see a minus and a plus there, and a minus and a plus there. So put like that and like that. Now you do have reverse polarity protection, and again, it's because screws and stuff physically block the contacts from making contact with the battery unless you put it in the right way. Now, there is no clear way of knowing which way to put this on. However, see, this one's lower, and that's the back of the minus. You gotta make sure that contact goes on there, just like that. And then again, here's these pins I was talking about, these spring-loaded pins. That's what's going to hold this onto the body. So what you do is you sort of put this on, you gotta press the pins like that, and then you can slide it on and make it click. And press it hard. See, clicked again. You gotta get both of them to click. This way you know it's in there tight and you have a good seal, which is important because this is waterproof, but you got to make sure that you have a good seal there. This is all one piece of aluminum, and then you have that steel bezel screwed in the front, and then you have this on the back, so there's no other opening. So you want to make sure you get that closed really good. By the way, waterproof to 2 meters. You know, that's the IPX8 standard, which is 6.5 feet. Also impact resistant to 1.5 meters or 5 feet. One other thing to point out, you have a little blue LED right here. This LED is multi-purpose. If it blinks every 2 seconds, it means that your power has dropped below 50%. If it blinks rapidly, it means that you've gone below 10%. It's time to recharge your batteries. You can't recharge it inside, by the way. You have to take the batteries out and charge it in whatever charger you have for your 18650 batteries. Also, this indicator is a standby indicator. So let's say you have your light on and you don't turn it off with the clicker. You have a special spot right here on this ring where light goes out, and that's standby. And when it's in standby, it also blinks every 2 seconds. Also, for those of you who are experts of these things, the power is electronically regulated in this guy, and there's also a chip for advanced temperature regulation. So it is one of them smart flashlights. It's not just raw power going right to the LED. There's electronics regulating the power, so your light will stay consistent at a certain brightness. Okay, time to go through the modes. I'm going to start out with the strobe, just so y'all know. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. I'm also going to list the lumens up here for you, for your convenience. So there's your strobe. Then we're going to turn this to the next setting, and that is your turbo mode, which is 2150 lumens for 1 hour. And then that ring just smoothly keeps on turning, and you can just smoothly go to the dimmest setting, which let me look at this right here, which is supposed to be 0.1 lumen. I could tell you that there's no way that's 0.1 lumen. That's more like 1 or 2 lumens. So their ultra low setting of 0.1 lumen, I think that's bogus. But whatever the slowest setting is, it can do it for 250 hours. Whereas your brightest turbo setting is 1 hour, again 2150 lumens. Alright, so then when you get to the next click, you notice light starts blinking. That's your standby mode. Then you go another click, and now you are in UV mode. Now let me see. I'm going to demonstrate UV mode. UV light. You should be able to see that UV strip right there. See, it's sort of glowing. Kind of neat. It's also good for looking for urine and other bodily fluids and things like that. So like if you go into a hotel room and you want to see if they clean the sheets, hey, UV light is a good way to tell. So this UV light will last for 48 hours. Then your next is red. That's 50 hours and 13 lumens. Then you have your green, which is 19 lumens for 48 hours. Then you have your blue, which is 3 lumens for 48 hours. And then my favorite mode, the police mode, and that's where your red and blue will just sort of alternatively blink back and forth like a cop car. So you want to be a cop. You want to be a cop. And then you have your beacon mode. So let's say you're in a plane and you crashed and you want to be found. You can sort of put this up there and have it do the beacon thing for a rescue. And as stated before, memory in every single mode. So if I turn this off using the tail switch, I turn it back on, and it's back in the same setting that I originally had it. Now, besides 18650 batteries, you could put in 4 CR123 batteries. So you don't know what those look like. It looks like half of an 18650 battery, but you just put 4 of them in there instead of 2 18650. Let's take a look at what this light looks like here on the table. If you look really close at the spot, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick, there we go, you could pick it up. You could actually see those 4 cores, the 4 LEDs on the die right there, because remember I told you it was a 4-core emitter. So you can actually see a little bit of that. However, it is very clean. You know, when you zoom out to a normal, you're not looking at it too close, it just looks like a spot and a flood. No weird artifacts or anything going on. Very clean, very well done light. There's your spot, there's your flood. Very normal looking, nice and clean. Other things, let me move my $20 bill for the love of Pete. There, just so you can see the angle of the light right there in the spot. Some people like to see that. There you go. And Nitecore claims this Cattail Stand, which it can, but not very stable. It doesn't take much to tip this over, so you better make sure it's a very flat, level surface, and don't lean on anything, because it will, well, it's going to make me into a liar. I don't know how this thing stays so stable. I guess it has a lot of weight toward the bottom, and that sort of helps. But because you know that's all it's resting on, these two little things right here where you would put the lanyard through. But I guess it does tail stand fairly well. So I'm digging deep trying to find some cons. One thing, I can't consider it tactical for only one reason, and that reason is it doesn't have a crown strike bezel on the front. It just has a regular bezel. That doesn't mean you can't hit someone in the head with it. I believe that's a steel ring. For all the modes this thing has, including modes that no other flashlight I've ever reviewed has, it's missing one. I don't know how, but it's missing SOS. Boy, we're having funner today because funner is gooder than just fun. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really do appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and especially you. And I hope you have a great day or evening. Take care. Bye.